Hello ladies and gentlemen, SirSKillz again from Verge Gaming, here to talk about creating a modded Minecraft server using Technic. This is part 2, where we will actually take care of making a server from the mod pack that we created in part 1. If you haven't watched part 1, I'd recommend going back and seeing it, unless you're very confident in your skills to make mod packs, in which case, welcome aboard. So I want to start talking about server-sided mods. So certain mods are actually not needed on the server, and they'll slow down your performance if you do put them on. And sometimes even cause them to crash. So you'll see right here, I actually have a little thing, and for the most part, they are required. But like we can see here, inventory tweak is not required. But for the mods that we installed from our mod pack, which would be Ars Magica and all these other bolded ones, we see that Ars Magica 2 is required, along with its dependency. Flans mod is required. Journey map is required. NEI and Code Chicken Core are both not required. So what we're going to end up doing before putting anything there is we're going to create a list of server mods. So we're going to go here. We know that these two need to be there. So let's go there and open up another one, server mods. Boom, boom, copy these over. I didn't actually do Waila, but Waila is needed on the server as well. Let's just bold that. And drag these over. So a few people may have noticed from the last episode that I actually had outdated mods, or well, too far updated mods, which was causing problems with some of our stuff. So now I have actually brought everything back to the correct version, and that shouldn't be a problem anymore, and this shouldn't be there. So this is required, this is required, this is not, this is required, this is required, this is not, and this is required. Alright, so now we have all of the mods that are required on the server side. Now I'm actually going to be running this on a Linux operating system because that's just how I roll, but all of this can be done on a Windows machine as well. All you have to do is a few small changes, which I'll tell you about. So we have the server mods, and we have basically everything we need to go except for our install. So going back to the file, so I'm still on 1.7.10, boom, 1.7.10. We're going to go to latest and installer Windows. I prefer doing it on Windows because it's a whole bunch easier. If you're doing it on Linux, especially through command line, this is going to be a real pain in the ass for you. I'm not even sure it's possible. So go forward at your own risk, but this is the way that I prefer to do it. So I'm just putting it in here so it's nice and convenient for me. So we can go here and run this. So we don't want to install client, we want to install the server. And where we install it will be this. So let's go to downloads, tutorial server, and we're going to put it into the Forge. Boom, okay, and it's going to download all required libraries and anything else. Alright, so we have everything. So it has an install log, you don't need this. Now then, the only things you'll need is library, your Forge, and the Minecraft server. You can now get rid of the installer. With this, we are actually going to be moving over to the Linux thing. So this is just me popping in. You can see my two other servers right over here. And we're going to put this. So let's transfer over any files. So in Forge, we're going to need all of these. And then, we're downloading these to the wrong place. That's awkward. Delete, delete, boom. All right, we want to put these in the tutorial server. So boom, done. They get transferred. And now we're also going to need the server mods, and we can just bring these over as they are. All right, so now we have everything we need. Looking over here, we have boom, boom, boom. And from here, you can basically run it. So what I'm going to do is grab a install or a run script. So that would be a start.bat for Windows users or a start.sh for Linux users. So I'm just going to take that from one of my other servers. So we're going to copy this and bring it to our server, tutorial server, paste it. All right, so let's go through this so we know what all is here. So first of all, of course, running Java, the maximum and minimum RAM that it wants to use. These are a few random things that I use. Now this is the important part, okay? So when we look over here, we see that this is our forge. So we're gonna go boom, rename, just so we can copy the name, Control C. This must match this, because this is what it's going to be looking for when it does it. Now I'm fairly certain, yes, we're still using the same version, so it's going to be just fine. And then because I am running this on a Linux distribution, I don't really want the GUI, so I turn that off. So we can save that. And that's basically all there is to it. So now, actually before I continue, for Windows, you will have a start.bat. It's going to be the exact same way, so instead of .sh, it's going to be .bat. And it will run the exact same way. You'll just have to click on it, or double click on it, and it will start your server. So we're going to see what happens with this. So sh start.sh. Now the first time it goes through, it's going to give you, first of all, a whole bunch of random stuff. Let me open this up so you can see, and it's also going to error. So right here, you'll see it was stopped. Now this was stopped because you need to accept the ULA. So going over here, you open it up, you see it says false. So boom, literally it tells you what to do. Set this equal to true, save it, and you're going to just rerun it. So everything is good here. Now you do notice that our mods folder has already loaded, but just to make sure everything goes over right the first time, I'm going to run it without loading a single mod. So now we can just wait for this to happen. Generally, if you look at these very often, they do a whole bunch of errors for no reason, which could be alarming. Hopefully you're not alarmed. And you'll see that the server is now done, so we can just stop that. And after it saves everything, we're good to go. So let's go back over here. We have our server mods and drag all of these into the mods folder. And with this, we're going to run it one more time. And also, sorry if this looks janky. That's just how it goes, unfortunately. But we should be fine. So, looking in here, you're going to have, oh, actually, I might fail for something that most of you won't have a problem with. Hopefully not. But anyway. Now it's loaded. Okay, so everything is good to go technically. So I have a server up wherever it is. However, I'm going to stop this one more time. And we're going to look at a few different things. So we have config, which has the configs for anything, the same as any other mod pack. We have flan, which is where for flans mod you would put your files. Libraries, which is the stuff that we already got. Logs, these are very important if you have an error. Any errors, just look in here. You're going to see latest. Just read through both of these. If it's not in there, it's something really, really bad, and then you're going to have to basically put one mod in at a time until you figure out what's screwed up. But the main thing that most people are going to be interested in is the server.properties folder. So this is fairly simple. Op permission levels, if you're curious, you can search that online because it's going to take a while. Another, you can name it flight, basically whatever you want. So for me, I actually am on a public internet, so I'm going to change this because I'm 100% certain that somebody's running it on it because I'm running two other servers and those can't run it on there either. So let's go like boom 88 or something. And we can save that. NPCs, you can basically go through them. They're all very self-explanatory. Message of the day, let's do Verge test pack. All right, and with that, we basically have everything good to go. You can play with these to your heart's content, but for the most part, it's done. All right, so next we have our world, we have everything else. I am actually going to delete this because it didn't generate with all of the mods. And we're going to get this going again. Now, the next thing I'm going to teach you is because this is designed to set up a server mod pack, we want to be able to actually get access to that. So I'm going to do something fun. So let's ask, what is my IP? Oh, sweet, right there, boom, done. This is my IP. Ignore it, pretend you don't know what it is. Anyway, boom. So with that, we have everything started and we can go back to the Technic launcher. So most likely, actually, this is going to cause problems because we have different versions, but that's not what we need for this. So let's get playing. All right, and then once it loads, we can go to multiplayer and we want to add a server. So this is going to be Verge test server. The address is going to be the thing that we got, and then the port number that I had to change. So that's 25588. All right, so done. Now we can see that this is up. When I connect, this is probably going to fail because we have incompatible mods. However, let's run this and see what happens. Oh, wow, okay. I was not expecting that, honestly, but it's there. So great. We can check everything else, make sure we actually have everything, and it looks like we do. So now you're on a server, so what do you know? But this really isn't very useful. So let's get out and quit. So with this, we now have stuff. So you can see right here, boom, I've connected properly to the server, which is good. So right now you have a fully operational server. However, there's one thing that you want to do to make people know that this is your server. The rest of this is if you're making a mod pack that's specifically designed for your server. Right now your server is completely up and running, so if that's all you need, then good luck and have a good time. The rest of this is going to be for automatically having your server in the mod pack by the time it is downloaded by anybody. So anybody who downloads it will then have access to your server. So the first thing we're going to need to do is run %app data %. Anybody who's ever down or installed a mod knows about this. So you're going to go Technic mod packs. We have this Verge, and right here is what we need. This is a DAT file which contains the information required to get people onto your server. So you want to copy that and add it in here. It just needs to be added in. So now you're going to put bin config mods and servers.dat. With that, you have basically everything together. So let's get rid of this and add here. So with that, you've technically added another thing, but that really doesn't matter. Honestly, if I were doing this properly, we have flansmod installed, so I would want another folder, which is flansmod. So just they need flans, and that would contain wherever you put uh, or any of the plugins that you put in for flansmod. So actually, let's just add that just for giggles. Now that everything is zipped up, I'm going to get it on the website, and then we can update from there. All right, so I've now put the folder into our pack right here. So we have the tutorial server. And now we're going to go here. This should have all updates that we need. Yeah, no, we're good. But yeah, so we have all the updates that we need. Now what we're going to do is do an update. So you're going to go to versions, version 1.2. I made 1.1 to make sure it would force up forward when we had that first error. And I'm going to say bug fixes, and then added server. It's always good to do a detailed changelog, so if you ever have to go back and be like, oh, what happened when everything blew up and screwed up horribly? It was this right here, and then you can go back. The more detailed, generally, the better. But anyway, we are going to update the version, and chances are this is just going to take forever to update because generally you can expect 10 to 20 minutes before it gets updated throughout all of the Technic pack, which is very unfortunate, but that's just how it goes. So we're going to wait for this to update to version 1.2, and I will see you back when that happens. All right, we are back. It has been quite some time. However, I do want to teach you something that is a little bit cheeky, but makes it so you don't have to worry about waiting for this thing to actually update. So if you actually completely delete the pack from your system, generally they still have uh, it updated. It's just not officially updated. So if you reinstall it completely, you'll see it does say 1.0 down there if you saw that. But if we go in and actually play it, you'll see that we will actually have the server.dat file that is already there. And with that, you can just kind of check things a little bit faster while Technic chugs along as slow as it does. So let's check it out, and boom, there we are. Let's see if we can get in. What do you know? We're all good. Everything has been loaded properly. Nice little chickens. Sun setting or rising, I'm not really sure. Probably setting. But that's it. So with that, you have a fully operational mod pack that leads directly to your server and a server that works as well. This is SirSKillz. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to get back to you. Other than that, good luck and have fun in your new Minecraft server. Thanks a bunch, guys.